If you are ready to invest, or you are ready to continue growing your wealth, let me give you guys a couple of tips that I have actually learned, a couple of tips that I have actually come across that the 1% are doing that you may not be aware of. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Pepe Cedeno, and welcome back to my video. So I wanted to give you guys examples of what the 1% is actually doing. Basically, a 1% is actually anybody who's in millionaire status and continues to grow their wealth over time by continuing to make more money. And we all know that once you're at a certain level of income, you're in a certain level of money, you're able to make your money a lot faster. Well, if you're not there, like myself, and you're not there and you actually want to grow your wealth over time, here's a couple of, in my opinion, a couple of things that I've learned, a couple of things that I've actually come across that I'm actually going to share with you, that I want to share with you in order for you to be on the journey with me to build your money over time. Having another set of income. So if you already have a job, you already have a career, you're like, what kind of other income do I need? What do you want me to go out here working 8 to 10 hours a day, and you want me to get out here get another job? You want me to get out here, be out here struggling? I don't have time for this. Well, the good news is that you don't necessarily need to spend any more time that you already do on a job, on your career, or anything like that. You can actually build another set of income by, you guessed it, dividend investments. So dividend investments are actually a great thing to do when it comes down to building another set of income on the side. So besides dividend investments, you can actually get into rental properties. You can actually get into buying properties and renting them out to other people and having them pay you back. That's another thing that you can do. And things like that will actually help you build wealth a little bit faster. But if you're like me and you can't afford to buy into rental properties at this moment, dividend investment, one of your second best chances that you can actually build wealth over time. And that one, you actually don't have to do anything extra. You just basically buy into high dividend ETFs, REITs, or individual stocks, and you just watch, you just leave it there. You reinvest the dividends every 3 months. Some of them paying every 3 months, so majority of them are, and you just reinvest the dividends. And you actually can take it out whenever you want it because it's a liquid asset. So you can actually take it out whenever you really need it, but only take it out if you really, really need it. Another way to help you is to understand the importance of inflation. Way before I took economic classes, and I learned about inflation and what the importance of inflation was. How your value of your dollar decreases while the prices continue to rise. Prices are continuing to go up, but your wages are not. So that's why there's always these arguments that people are literally just asking for an increase in wages, and they're having to work 2 to 3 jobs in order to get by. Well, by having to do that, it's difficult. But if you are able to have a little bit of money, and hopefully you're not at that level where you're working 2 jobs in order to get by, but if you're able to have a little bit of money, and instead of 100% saving it, invest it. Like, so if you have $100, for example, at the end of the month, or at the end of each paycheck, you're able to at least, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna save this $100, save maybe $25 and invest $75. So by doing that, you're able to invest it in dividend stocks, and you'll be able to grow, overall compounded interest over time. And like I said, little by little, you'll be able to grow that value of your money over time, because of the fact that if you were invested into the savings account, a high yield account, or money management, anything into a bank account, you wouldn't generate a lot of interest over time. You would generate a small amount of interest over time, 3% or so over a 10 period of time. And at the stock market has been gaining at around 8% every year. So it just, like I said, don't quote me on that one exactly, but it's been gaining around 8% around, so gaining every year. So it's been increasing. Your value of your dollar will be able to go up. Another way to do is to necessarily help you build your wealth over time is by understanding the difference between liabilities and assets, and being able to buy more assets than liabilities, or just limit and don't buy any liabilities at all. But liabilities is anything that does not increase in value over time, or does not give you any value for your money. An asset will actually increase over time, such as property, buying into a house, buying into property and be able to get money back for them, or just be able to live there and be able to one day sell it and be able to gain more money, more value for your property, for your asset than what you paid for it. The same thing with dividend investments. It's the same thing with dividend stocks. You'll be able to buy it, but you'll be able to get money back from over time. You'll be able to increase your value of your dividend stock. Well, liabilities comes in the forms of buying, like, for example, buying a boat, buying a car, buying a motorcycle. It's something that you're not going to get the value that you put into it. So unfortunately, if you buy a vehicle that's brand new, 2020, in a couple of years, in a couple of 2 years, 3 years, that value is going to drop significantly to about 30 to 40%. Well, the person who is actually, a lot of the millionaires will actually tend to buy those kind of vehicles from people who actually leased them and will be able to buy them at a 30%, 40% discounts. So they're usually they're actually paying to buy, whether they're paying it in cash or they're actually paying in payments, but they're paying in a smaller percentage. So try to buy a vehicle that you can mostly afford and you're able to pay it within, I would approximate around a year. Try to give yourself a year to pay off a vehicle, and if not, don't buy it at the moment because you may not be able to really afford it. Another thing is that you can actually help wealth is by never spending more than what you make. It's important to understand that it's important to not spend more than what you make, because of the fact that when you don't have, if you can't afford something and you're going to a zero, you just might as well just be throwing away your money. You work hard for your money. You're getting paid that. You want to value that $1. So never spend more than what you make. Don't go out and buy stuff because of the fact that if you actually pay attention, and if you actually make, look at how much you make for example, buying a t-shirt, buying a pair of shoes. If a pair of shoes cost you $80, see how many hours that you necessarily work in order to pay for that shoes. And just kind of like, that's kind of how I personally like to do things. That's kind of how I've been looking at my, investments and being able to track my money a little bit better and understand that. Not necessarily calling me cheap, but just a better person aware of how their finance, and just by understanding my financials and just seeing how I can better manage my money. The use of a credit card. See, a lot of people don't understand that, and they have this thing where credit cards are actually a bad thing. Well, credit cards are not necessarily a bad thing, because credit cards are actually a good thing if you know how to properly use them. What I mean by that is there's actually a lot of credit cards, if not all credit cards, will give you not all credit cards, but a lot of credit cards will actually give you rewards back. And by giving you rewards back, they're giving you either free stuff or free money back to you by using your credit card. So the way I like to use my credit card is I like to purchase just about 90% of everything that I do. I like to purchase it by using my credit card and paying it off completely 100% before the due date, so that I do not get interest, nor do I get fees. And each point for me is approximately $1 to $3, depending on what I'm purchasing. I'm actually able to get $50 back on my credit card deposited into my account, which later on I take it out of my account and I invest it into a dividend stock on Robinhood. So by doing that, I'm actually able to grow my money, and I'm actually able to just invest the $50 that I'm getting. So that's another way that you can actually get money back from just using your credit card instead of having cash, and you're actually just giving out cash all the time, because at the same time you're actually getting change. And by leaving change into your house, by leaving change into a piggy bank, is never going to gain interest. It's going to stay the same, and it's just going to get just there. It's not going to do anything for you. So it's the less change that you can have at your house, the better, because you're not getting anything from that. You want to be able to put it into an investment, or just simply leave it into a savings account where you're actually getting at least some type of interest back to you. So those are a couple ideas that I had, you guys, will actually help you, that actually were a couple ideas that I had that I'm actually going to be using, and I have already started using, to help me build my wealth over time. And it's actually kind of effortless, because of these things are effortless, because I do these things or I buy these things. And I can actually, like, for example, when it comes down to the credit card, when it comes down to just investing more than I'm saving, and just buying things that I can afford versus buying things that I cannot, by not buying things that I can afford, is actually helping me invest in my portfolio in the long run. I'm also doing where I'm actually able to invest more than I'm saving. So every time I'm actually saving just a little tiny bit on my savings account and trying to you know, invest and move majority of my income into dividend paying stocks. I hope this video is very informative for you guys, and I hope this video gives you a couple of ideas on how to begin investing, how to continue growing your wealth over time. So I want to help you guys out, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. 2020, you have to begin investing. We're still in January. Just start investing. It's never too late, and just start today, because you know, if you say you're going to start tomorrow, you're just going to keep pushing it on for tomorrow, and if you don't necessarily know how to invest in Robinhood, you don't know how to necessarily invest in dividend stocks, remember, in my opinion, that I suggest investing into ETFs and investing into REIT stocks, because those are always going to continue gaining dividends, and you don't necessarily have to rely on just a certain company. Especially the ETFs, you don't necessarily have to rely on a certain company. You rely on multiple companies. And like I said, if you want, you can actually look at my last video where I actually suggested 5 dividend stocks that are actually paying really good dividend. I'm actually invested in, and I'm actually getting money. I'm going to be getting dividends in. So I wanted to have you guys an idea, and I want to give you guys, you know, share a little bit of information to you guys about wealth management. So I hope you guys like this video. Till next time, you guys. Peace.